What's up everyone, and welcome to another daily Bitcoin analysis video. In these videos you can learn how to use technical analysis to forecast potential price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies and see where we are buying and selling different cryptocurrencies ourselves. In this video we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, so let's start off here with the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame here for Bitcoin, we can see that the monthly candle closes in about 4 days and 11 hours. We have this R3 pivot up here, which is our main resistance level. That is up at about 63.2. I imagine this monthly candle will close, somewhere with bear volume. It'll be pretty difficult for it to close with a bull candle, but it is possible. We still do have 4 days and 11 hours to make our way up to the open of this monthly candle, which is at 58,905. If we do end up forming a bearish candle, the next month we'll have to see if we end up coming down and forming a monthly high, or if we end up continuing to go higher. That will pretty much be dictated by the lower term time frames. So let's go down to some of those to see what we're dealing with. The weekly time frame, we had last week a bearish candle, but we did see declining weekly bear volume, which is good for the case for the bulls to start making our way up above this previous weekly high, which is up here at about 56,649. If we break that high, we'll know our weekly low has been set, and then we'll look to either go up and form a higher high above this key high, or form a lower high and then come down and either form another higher low on the weekly time frame, or push down through to another lower low. Now, if I'm a Bitcoin bull, I'm looking at the price action right now and I'm saying, okay, if we were looking for liquidity, meaning we were searching for stop losses, the whales in the market, they need to search for stop losses to fill their large positions without significantly moving the price. This drawdown in price was plenty enough liquidity for them to now push the price to new all-time highs if we are indeed going to go there. This indeed would make a lot of people end up thinking, oh, the price is no longer bullish and therefore I'm going to short. Now, what can happen when a lot of shorts pile up, meaning a lot of people that are betting the price is going to go down, what ends up happening is when that happens, you get a candle that looks like this. And this could just be the beginning of this rise in price, because what happens is the shorts are forced to close their positions. So I talked in yesterday's video or the day before that this gray level would be the level that I'm looking to go short on, as well as this gray level, expecting we're going to set a daily lower high somewhere either in this gray zone or in this gray zone up here. After seeing the price action of today, I did close my short that I had in this gray level. I am going to keep this one open though, just because this one is on the 2-day time frame, and I do imagine that this level, I really like these sorts of moves where we get a trend with a low, high, higher low, higher high, 2 candle closes above the key high, and then instead of holding this level of support, we push right through it and close below it here. This level should be very strong resistance on the first test, so I would not be surprised if we came up and went into this level before coming down again. Now, the thing to keep in mind though for the bulls is this rise in price is very, very good if we're thinking of changing the trend back into the bulls' favor, because what I talked about yesterday is what the bulls are going to have to do on the daily time frame, since we've had this tremendous slide in price, is they're going to need to come up, most likely form a lower high somewhere maybe in this gray zone, come back down, but when they come back down they need to form a higher low above this low right here, and then they need to go up for a new higher high. And that's when the trend will be confirmed, that we are in a confirmed bull trend, and more people will step in to go long. If we do the opposite and we push up and then we go to a new lower low, that is a confirmed bear trend. So a lot of people are going to be watching for this lower high to be set, and then the potential for a higher low or a lower low. So the higher we push in price, the more room we have above this low to form that higher low. If we don't push very high, much higher than we are now, if, like, let's say this is right around where the high is going to be set, and we come back down, we might go to a new lower low very easily. But if we push higher and we set a high somewhere up here, and then we come back down, now you see that we've appreciated since the ultimate low of 20 some percent. And so for us to come down again and go for a new lower low, we would have to drop down over 19%. And so it's pretty significant. So the higher this goes in price, the more confidence the bulls have that we will indeed be changing the trend. This gray zone is still a resistance zone that I'm keeping an eye on. I'm just not going short on it just because I don't really like the prospect of getting stopped out if we're just going to go right into this gray level. And this level is just a daily level when the other gray level above is a 2-day level, so it's stronger. So I have more confidence in that, and we'll see what we end up getting here. But the support zone we're currently operating on is this blue zone. This blue zone is this candle from back here, and when we're reading price action, remember we're looking for the trend to establish our support or resistance zone. Here's a low, high, higher low, and then higher high pattern, which is exactly the pattern that we look for when we're looking for a bull trend. And this is exactly what we'll need to see in this price action over here for us to have confidence that this is going to continue to go higher. We need to, this low right here is very similar to this low. If we do end up coming up, setting a high like this, coming down, setting a higher low, and then going up for new higher high. So that's what we might see here in the coming days. That's what we will need to see if we want this price action to continue to go higher. The other thing to talk about is the target for this trade here. I do really like this setup. I am going to keep this trade on, and I'm confident in it that it will end up holding if we do end up going into this price action. We'll see what happens, but I'm putting my stop loss above right around 60K, and then targeting down here about 40K down at this previous all-time high level. Gives you a good risk reward ratio of about 6.35 and about a 28.75% profit potential if we go down to there. Even if we don't, I imagine if we don't hit this full target, what might end up happening is we come up, we hit this level, we come down somewhere in either this gray level or maybe the top of this blue level, and then we bounce from there. What I would imagine is if on the 12-hour time frame, we hit this, we go through this yellow zone right here on the first test. You can see the first candle into this was a very bullish candle with increasing bull volume right here. We did not get above average bull volume yet, but that's what we might see in the next 10 hours here. If we push right through this zone and we close two 12-hour candles above this yellow zone, this will be a very strong support zone. And that's where I would imagine what would end up probably happening there is we come into this gray zone. A bunch of people go long because they're like, oh, we broke above this key high. We're going to continue to go higher. This gray zone is going to hold a support. It's going to come down into this yellow zone. This is going to hold as support. I'm sorry, this is going to hold as resistance. I said support. This is going to hold as support on the first test, and that's probably going to push us to new highs thereafter. So we will see what we end up getting, but you can see the price action is wanting to go through this level. And the way we can tell that is with this strong candle close with a very small lower wick, almost non-existent on this 12-hour candle coming into this level. When you see that, typically the level doesn't end up holding, but it still could. We could end up just turning down right from here, down back again. But you can see that the price, people are still buying here. People are still anticipating. They don't want to miss their opportunity. The other thing about when you have a drawdown like this is what happens to a lot of, you have to think about market psychology. And this goes into your trading analysis. What happened here was this made a lot of people bearish on Bitcoin. This made a lot of people think that we're just going to go for new lows and this is the high. So there's a couple things to note about that. One, there's a lot of stop losses above this high. So if we go above this high, that's going to be a tremendous rise in price. The other thing to keep in mind is as this starts to creep higher, more and more people are going to buy Bitcoin because they're going to consider the fact that this right here might have been the low of this drawdown, and we might be eventually going to new all-time highs over the next coming weeks and months. And so the increase in price as it continues to rise is going to give more and more people confidence. More and more people are going to buy the asset, and it will end up propelling the price higher and higher as we go up. But it is important to note that we're still reading price action before we do anything. We're not going to make a hasty decision. And on the 4-hour time frame, we have not changed the trend just yet. Even though we made this higher high, we made a lower low before that. So what we're going to need to do on the 4-hour time frame is come down, form a higher low somewhere above this one here, and then from there go up for a new higher high. That will give us confidence that the trend has changed in the 4-hour time frame. It'll also give us confidence that the daily time frame low has been set and is in, and now will continue to go higher. But until we get that trend change on the 4-hour time frame, we cannot be confident that the bear trend is over, because we've been trending bearish ever since right here when we had our bear pattern of our high, low, lower high, lower low. So since that point, we've kind of chopped around a bit, broke down again, confirmed the bear pattern again right here, came down, consolidated, lower low but didn't close below, came back up and wicked back above, and then subsequently had this rise in price. So now we're in this yellow zone, that 12-hour resistance zone, as well as this daily gray resistance zone. So what could end up happening is this could end up being the level, like I said, where we end up rejecting off of it and coming down from this level. But if we're a bull, all hope is not lost if we can change this 4-hour trend back to bullish. And since we've appreciated so much in price since the low, once again, when you see price action like this, where we've risen 15% since that ultimate low, what that tells us then is we can come down a fair amount here and still set a higher low. Even if we came all the way down to 50K again, we would still be above this low right here, and that would give us confidence that if we go up again, we will set a higher high and confirm that trend change. So that's currently what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. I'm not going to be a buyer on Bitcoin. I want to be very clear. I'm not going to be a buyer on Bitcoin until I see this 4-hour trend change. Once this 4-hour trend changes and we set a higher low and higher high, that is when we know that we can assume with reasonable confidence that the low is in for the short term, for the daily time frame. And then we'll look to probably make a push into that gray resistance zone right here. Pretty good appreciation so far in price, but at this point, we're just going to be setting a lower high somewhere below this low up here about 65K. So we can't be bullish until we start to see that trend change, if we're a trend trader. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I hope this was helpful for you. If you like this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And until next time, onward and upward.